Hello, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Rich.
And I'm Beth.
We're both pharmacists and we're licensed in the States and in Canada. So Beth, what are we talking about today?
So today we're actually going to be talking about a pretty serious topic. As you've all heard on the news, it's called COVID-19.
COVID-19. So what does COVID-19 mean? Or where did they get this word?
So COVID-19, it's I guess technically an acronym. It wasn't very creative. It stands for Coronavirus Disease 2019.
Yes. And the reason why we're discussing about it today is because I've been talking to some of my younger friends and they seem to be not too worried about it. They're like, oh, it's not a big deal. You know, doesn't like only young people, they don't get any problems, but only the elderly, they have major issues. But that's not the case. We see many cases where those that are in their 20s and 30s still can get it severely. But also as a whole, people are affected. And we see today that our Prime Minister and his wife were quarantined, and we found that his wife was she actually has the disease, right?
Yeah.
And they also closed the schools for a couple weeks. And you know, hockey has been temporarily stopped, basketball, many events, right? So this is a major issue, and we should take it serious.
Yeah, for sure. So in today's video, we will basically be going over whether or not we're ready to tackle the coronavirus.
Are you ready?
So there are 7 different coronaviruses that can affect humans. When we compare signs and symptoms between the coronavirus and influenza, we see very similar characteristics between the two. Some common symptoms include dry cough, difficulty breathing, and fever. When patients with coronavirus experience a fever, it's normally a higher temperature and or a longer duration than what we see in the flu. But the thing is, with regards to the coronavirus, 80 to 85% of the cases are very mild. So you might see no symptoms or very light symptoms. And that includes the fever. So the fever, you might not get a fever at all.
So if you have these symptoms, and if you've traveled abroad or if you come in contact with people that have traveled abroad, scientists suggest that you would isolate yourself. And when you isolate yourself, you should isolate yourself for 14 days because that is the incubation period. They do say that some people have exhibit symptoms earlier, but by 14 days, you should know by then. And you should contact your health provider and also public health authority.
As you may all know, the coronavirus is primarily transmitted via droplets. Some methods of transmission are coughing, sneezing, or, if someone accidentally spits on you.
I hope that doesn't happen to me.
So with regards to the coronavirus, there's actually only been a small percentage of cases where the patients claim that they are asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic and that they have transmitted it to another person. So there was a story about a lady who had come home from vacation and had claimed that she was asymptomatic. But upon further questioning by the health authority, they had actually found that she had very, very mild symptoms, which she had attributed to jet lag. And because of that, she had transmitted the disease to many of her coworkers. With regards to the virus staying on inanimate objects, it has been found that depending on the weather and the material of the object, the disease, like the virus, can stay on the object for a few hours, up to a few hours to as long as a few days. But the thing is, experts still don't know if a person can contract the disease by touching these inanimate objects. So Rich, how do you feel, about using masks as a precautionary measure?
So Beth, about masks. Masks are actually pretty good to a certain extent, but we need to preserve the masks. There's a shortage of masks. I remember back in January when the whole thing blew up in China. And my friends in Hong Kong were sending me emails and texting me saying, "Hey Rich, can you get me some masks?" And when I checked, I could only order 2 boxes per day, and eventually got back ordered. And even now on Amazon, the prices are crazy, and it takes forever to even get the masks. And so we need to preserve masks. And analogy that I would like to make is just think of like a war that's going on. So there's 500 people, 250, half of the people are soldiers, and the other half are just civilians. But we only have maybe about 300 guns, right? But everyone wants a gun, the civilians and the soldiers. But the thing is, the soldiers are the ones that are fighting the war, right? So they're up front in the battle, and that applies in the situation, right? The soldiers are actually the modern day physicians and nurses who are up close with all the sick people, and they're having a real problem with mask shortages, and that's the thing, we need to help with that. And so health professionals recommend that if you're healthy, that you don't need a mask. If you're unhealthy, if you're sick, you should have a mask because it covers up and keeps all the germs in place when you're coughing and sneezing. But the thing is, doctors really need it, and they're short on supply. One thing I'd like to mention is there's an infectious disease specialist. His name is Michael Osterholm, and he was mentioning that with surgical masks, that they don't cover properly. So like a lot of cases where they found people were in close proximity with each other, it didn't really help because the germs still get through in parts of the mask. And other studies say that since people in general touch their face like maybe 50 times a day or more, that when people have masks on, they tend to adjust the mask and they might make themselves more prone to getting an infection. So the best way I would say is proper hand washing technique to lessen the chance of getting an infection. And then we're going to talk about that.
So let's talk about hand washing. The recommended time to hand wash is approximately 20 seconds. The proper way for hand washing is they recommend to scrub the front of your hands, the back of your hands, and then make sure to also scrub under your nails, in between your fingers, and making sure not to miss your thumbs. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to properly wash your hands. In North America, we were in the early stages of the disease. But as you've seen on the news recently, we have been getting more and more cases, and it's only expected to become worse. So public health authorities have recommended that we engage in something called social distancing.
Or I would like to call it hamster balling.
What's hamster balling?
You know, have you had a hamster before?
No.
I had a hamster, and I remember as a kid, we bought this ball, we put the hamster in there, and the hamster runs around in the ball. It's kind of like a little bubble. The hamster's in the bubble. And health officials want us to kind of have this bubble, a bubble of 6 feet. So it'll be like, I would have to be about all the way out here, out of the picture, Beth, right? Or 2 meters away from the person. And the reason for that is because if someone is coughing, they say cough. When they cough, the spread of the virus usually shoots out maybe about 2 to 4 feet, so 6 feet is good. But it'll be awkward at first. But they say this would slow the spread of the virus.
Hey Rich, have you been to the grocery store recently?
Yes, I have. And I did yesterday. Funny story. Okay, so when my wife called me yesterday and she said that, can you get some toilet paper? Because we're almost out, right? So I called Costco and to my surprise, no more toilet paper. I went to Sears Superstore, the shelves were all empty, right? And then I finally found it after a couple stores. I went to one store and they had some toilet paper. So I bought some toilet paper. I didn't buy a lot. I might have bought like 12 rolls, which is not, it was on sale. But when I was in line, the person behind me was saying, oh, like, that guy, why are so many people buying all these toilet papers? They're crazy, right? And so, you shouldn't buy so much toilet paper.
Yeah, I really don't think stockpiling toilet paper would really help with the virus. So I guess, besides social distancing, what should we do to prepare?
Okay, well, a couple things. If you're on any prescription medications, it's very important to make sure you have enough, at least 14 days to even a month. It doesn't do any benefit to overstock on medications, just like on toilet paper. And you want everyone going in a frenzy, trying to get everything they need, and then there'll be nothing left. So Beth, what else can we do to help us through this situation?
So to promote good health, it's recommended that people drink plenty of water, get good rest, eat healthy, exercise daily, and because we're pharmacists, to take your vitamins.
So what do you have there, Beth?
So what I have is I have vitamin E, vitamin C, and zinc.
Okay, what I have is, this product contains ginseng, so either American ginseng or red ginseng, Korean ginseng, Panax ginseng, the same thing. Not Siberian ginseng. And I have some echinacea. So these products here, there's been many studies that have done with these products, and there's some mixed results, right? But overall, I don't think it would hurt you. It actually might boost your immunity with them. Vitamin C, they say it does help reduce the cold duration a little and the symptoms not as much. And so with these ones, you could try it and consult your local pharmacist.
If you have any questions or concerns.
Yes. So thank you for making it to the end of this video, and we hope it was informative.
Our future videos will generally be about drugs, diseases, treatments, and other very fun stuff. So please like this video and subscribe to us. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.